Hi, I'm Nick Shell, and this is a video about my actual insecurities. Now, granted, there's people who don't actually subscribe to the channel. They just watch one video, and they'll say, man, you're obsessed with hair loss. You make 3 videos a day. You're obsessed. You should get over it. Well, of course, that is their perception. If someone made 3 videos a day, he would either be obsessed or he's here to help other people with that journey. And I serve as a perfect host, having lost just enough hair to still be relevant to speak to both sides of the audience there. Those who have already gone bald and those who are starting to, or at least have noticed the receding hairline. And I could see, well, Nick, but aren't you insecure about your hair loss? Because you made that video recently saying that you're gonna be relieved that you're gonna go to your 20th high school reunion in a year and a half and you're gonna still have your hair. And that's gonna be relief to you. So isn't part of you, aren't you at least a little bit bothered by your hair loss? And I know it could be easy to put these things in perspective from where you're sitting and to think, you gotta be secretly obsessed if you're doing a YouTube series about this. If that's what you need to believe, I'll let you believe it. But I'm here to be truthful with you. That's not my actual insecurity. Here's my insecurity. Remember how I made that video talking about how you wanna exploit what you're good at? And I explained how I have an English degree. I'm very good at communicating. I'm better than most people at communicating. That's my degree. I'm very good at writing and editing. Remember, I'm a blogger, familyfriendlydaddyblog.com. There's a whole website. I've been doing it for years. People send me free products. It has nothing to do with hair loss. I've been doing that for years. I'm good at communicating. I'm good at writing. I'm good at editing. I'm good at creating all these ideas for all these videos and blogs. I'm good at all those things. I'm even good at acting. If you look back on some of my videos where I get really dramatic, that was to manipulate the audience and to distract their focus on something else. There was always an agenda behind it. So I know how to manipulate emotions in a way to make people perceive me in a certain way when I need them to. I manipulate people through emotions because I understand emotions better than most people. Most people are victims to their own emotions and they let other people offend them and hurt them, insult them. Whereas I don't. I control that switch. Most people don't. Those are things I'm good at. But why am I good at those things? Because I have to be. We all have to be good at something. So let's talk about what I'm not good at. And therefore, if I'm being really honest, I'm probably insecure about these things I'm not good at. So you probably have noticed, my dad and I did a couple of videos together, him showing the cars he's working on in his shop, okay? That's been his thing. He's always been able to work on cars, rebuild cars, not just cars, but anything to do with a building. He can build a house. I mean, he basically built this shop. He's very good at building and engineering things. And my brain doesn't work that way at all. I can't follow what's going on. I'm really bad at math. I'm really bad at science. I'm really bad at spatial things. Like I get lost really easy. I'm horrible at those things. And therefore, if I was insecure about something more so than anything, it'd be that. It'd be that while my dad is the ultimate Mr. Fix-It, the ultimate handyman, I'm the complete opposite of him. And to a certain degree, it bothers me that I can't be what he is. But I also have to accept the fact that I'm not wired the way he is. He's very, very intelligent, my dad is, in those things. And I'm not. I'm very, very intelligent in other things. And I have to accept my identity and be intelligent in those ways. And this goes back to what I've been saying for a while on this channel. That if your hair loss is bothering you, stop focusing on that and focus on what you're intelligent on. Make your identity that. And that way, when you're talking to people, you actually have something to talk about and they can, even if they don't say it out loud, like, wow, you're really good at whatever it is. Whether it's cars or fixing things or being a YouTuber, whatever it is, you're good at something, you're intelligent at something, exploit that. And therefore, by default, though, I think what happens is the thing that you're least good at is the thing that you're most insecure. So I know that you can't relate to what I'm about to say, but I'm saying it anyway. You all know that I've been married for nearly a decade. You all know that I have 2 kids, okay? So imagine as a modern day dad, I want to be able to fix stuff in our house. I want to be able to, we live in a house that's only 3 years old, but still, I want to be able to be the handyman that my dad is. I would love to be able to put in a backsplash in the kitchen for my wife. I'll never be able to do that without my dad being there. I'll just be his assistant. That's all I'll ever be, and I know that. Because ultimately, not only do I not really have the talent for that, my interest level is in these things that I'm naturally good at. Because I can continue to exploit what I'm good at and let my dad continue exploiting what he's good at. And I feel comfortable with the word exploit. I say, why not? If you know you're intelligent in something, you know that you're good at something, why not exploit it? And let that be your identity and make the most of that. And then people think, yeah, your dad, man, he's the ultimate handyman. He restores cars. See, that's part of what my dad's identity is. And I'm so happy for him, but I know that that's never gonna be me. So as far as insecurity goes, my real insecurity is that I don't have a knack for that like he does. And I guess another part of maybe my insecurity is that when my ability to make money, I'm very vocal and unashamed at the fact that I make these videos ultimately to make money to provide for my family because I'm a stay-at-home dad now. And I'm not ashamed of that in telling you that. I'd rather you know, hey, that's my number one reason I do these, and number two reason, because I enjoy helping people. I know that I help people and I give them the confidence they need. But I would love to have been smart enough to have been a doctor or a lawyer. In hindsight, maybe now I should go to law school. I think I've got enough psychology figured out, because that's another thing I'm good at, better than most people with psychology. And there's no shame in thinking to yourself, hey, I'm better at most people at this thing and this thing and this thing. That's what you need to do. You need to make those parts of your identity. When you become really good at figuring out what you're good at and making that part of your identity, what you don't have time and energy and space for is worrying about something as trivial and superficial as hair. This is all about manhood and all about masculinity. My dad has absolutely figured out what he's good at and what he's awesome at. And so have I in the process. But I'm also intelligent enough to realize I'm never going to be my dad. I never am going to be able to be as good or even a beginner level at the stuff that he's good at. I've accepted that. And I think even in my teenage years, I realized that. I started going into music and now in writing and now this. Hey, which by the way, that reminds me, I finally got my YouTube channel started for my music. If you want to go on YouTube and type in Nick Shell Music, I've got my first song up. It's a cover of Johnny Cash's song, Folsom Prison Blues. So that's up if you want to check that out. So those are things I'm good at. They're part of my identity and I make sure of that. Therefore, by default, the things that I'm not good at are probably the things that I'm most insecure about. I'm always wanting to provide more money for my family. That's part of my identity as a dad and a husband. I want to be a good provider. And I wish that I was smart enough to be a doctor or a lawyer or a scientist or engineer, something like that. But my intelligence was never there. It was more of a creative, communicative type of intelligence. So by making these videos and having several YouTube channels, that's my way of exploiting what I'm intelligent at, what I'm good at. And I say all this to inspire you to do the same. What's your intelligence? You're intelligent in some way. You may not be intelligent in making cars or math or science, but you're good and intelligent at something. And not just one thing, probably two or three things. The more that you adopt that role in your life, the more confident you're going to be, and the less time, energy, and space in your brain and your life that you have to worry about hair loss. And of course, the end result is that's how people actually value and judge you. On a man who's confident, that knows what he's good at, and he knows what he's not. Because at the same time, while I am insecure that I can't be a handyman around the house fixing stuff or making stuff nice around the house, while by default that is my insecurity, I don't go moping around, oh, I wish I knew how to do a backsplash so that my wife would like her kitchen better. I wish I knew how to do that better. I don't do that. I mean, it's a joke around our house. My wife can openly joke with me about how not my dad I am when it comes to fixing stuff up. It's a joke and I laugh about it and it's funny because it is. I'm the opposite of my dad in those ways. So in closing, figure out what you're good at, exploit it, make that your identity. What you're not good at, probably going to be your actual insecurities. Even then though, find a way to make that part of your identity as well. Say, hey, I'm Nick Shell. I'm good at being a YouTuber. I'm good at writing. I can even sing and play songs on a guitar. I can do all these things. But you don't want to see me try to do anything to a car beyond fix a flat tire, because that's about the extent of what I can do on a car. I hope this helps, because in my opinion, this is one of the best and most relevant and helpful videos I've ever made when it comes to fusing psychology, hair loss, and your identity as a man.